Greetings to all of our Carter Blvd friends and family. Donna Alexander asked me if I would do something on the time in the old neighborhood, things that have happened. And my name is James Shackelford. I have been a member of the Carter Blvd neighborhood for some 55 years. I have one son, Clarence Shackelford, two daughters, Anita Shackelford Granberry and Teresa Shackelford Lincoln, and my wife, Mary Shackelford. I have seen the neighborhood go through many changes. I have seen the roads in this neighborhood go from mud streets to black oil top road to now asphalt roads. I have seen the neighborhood change where old houses have been torn down and duplex have replaced them. If you was fortunate to have come up in the Carter Blvd area during the 60s, 70s, and 80s, you was very fortunate. It was the best of times. It was a time when you could walk the neighborhood and feel free from all crimes. It was a time when each neighbor looked out for each other. It was a time where children would dress appropriate. There was no sagging for boys. The girls was dressed appropriate. And it was a time when the whole neighborhood was concerned with raising each child. If the children go to one neighbor's house, they was part of that family while they was there. They had to give them the honor and respect as their children gave. The adults respected the children, and the children respected the adults. It was a time when it wasn't like it is now, where there was drugs running rampant. The children was able to be children, to live and to walk the neighborhood freely. It was a time when there was no 911. If you disobeyed, you was disciplined. It was a time when the family knew where you were. If you didn't, you would have to respond why you wasn't home when you said you was. And it wasn't gangs like it is now with violence and hate. It was a time, a gang, a little club, as the boys say, where they could get together and do things and as boys would do, and the girls would group together in unity to do what they like to do, play. They had all things in common. I remember the girls, I think on 33rd and on Grand, it was the old clay banks where the girls would go and eat the clay from the banks. It was a time where they could go into the Woodruff Park. There was walnuts, hickory nuts, chinky pins. Like I said, it was a time when they could be kids and not worry about being harmed. So we have come a long ways. As I said, the neighborhood have changed. They are duplex where there was homes. The Texas College apartments was built. and some of the members moved into Liberty Arm or Texas College apartment. And I would like to reflect now on some of the neighbors that was here when I was here, first was here. A lot of them you will remember, a lot of them probably have passed on that you don't remember. So as I recall some of the members of the old neighborhood, there are some I don't remember, there are some that I probably have forgotten. So if I don't call all that you know, charge it to the heart, to the head and not to the heart. There was Professor and Mrs. Griffin, who lived on 30th Street. You probably remember they had a washateria. And there was Reverend and Mrs. Deli, who lived on Carter Blvd. I know you remember her as the lady with the blue hair. There was Mr. and Mrs. Garvan Forks, who lived on Carter Blvd. And I know a lot of you remember the Coke box that he had on the front porch. And there was the Fred Pickney family on 31st Street. Mr. Pickney, he worked at a cleaner. He would always go neat and he would always have that pipe. And there was Mr. and Mrs. Hamilton. He was the barber. His barber shop is still on Palace Street. She was a teacher. And there was the Garrett family that lived in the big red house on 31st Street. There was Mr. and Mrs. Guy Shackelford that lived on 31st, the same time I lived on 31st. And I remember the postman, according to which way he was coming, if he would come to my house first, he see Shackelford, he would leave all the Guy Shackelford mail and I would have to take it to him. And if they was coming from another part of 31st, Guy Shackelford would have to bring me my mail. And there was Reverend and Mrs. Morrison, who lived on the corner of 31st and Grand. And there was Mr. and Mrs. Mose, who worked at Texas College as a maintenance man. And there was the Mrs. Allen family, who lived on 31st. She was a retired teacher. And there was the Yarber family, who lived on Carter Blvd. The Larry, James, and the rest of the boys all was good fishermen. I used to raise Georgia wiggler worms, and they used to come and buy worms from me to go fishing. And there was the Bernice William family on Carter Blvd. There was Mr. and Mrs. Clifford Ward on Carter Blvd and 33rd Street. And there was the Tillman family on Carter Blvd. There was Mr. and Mrs. William family on Carter Blvd. And there was Mr. and Mrs. Herman Bickham family on 32nd. There was Mr. and Mrs. Morgan family on 32nd. There was Mr. and Mrs. Harvey Griffin family on 32nd. There was Mr. and Mrs. Clarence Whitmore family on 32nd. There was Mr. and Mrs. John Everett family on 32nd. There was Mr. and Mrs. Bo Lee family on 32nd Street. There was Mr. and Mrs. Morgan we called him Happy Jack, that lived on Grand.